Okay, we got that recorder going and ready to rock and roll. So let's just do a quick sound check as usual. If you guys can just let me know if that audio is coming through loud and clear for you. Just give me a yes or a no in that chat box there so I know everything is working properly today. Okay, so get some yeses there. All right, good deal, good deal. Perfect. Okay. So we got a couple of different topics that we're going to cover today, and I'm getting some tabs open here so we can take some notes here together as we discuss this. I have a slightly different ad type to show you guys here today because I know last week we covered a whole lot of material, just a ton of material as far as different ads for you guys to run. And just a heads up that the lead ad product that we demonstrated last week, we're just absolutely knocking that one out of the ballpark. Whenever I see somebody run it, the lead capture rate is just absolutely phenomenal. So if you haven't run that yet, I strongly recommend you run it exactly as presented because the leads we're getting from that, especially utilizing it as a two-step process, is absolutely killer right now. So strongly recommend that. Now today I'm going to show you a different ad, one that leverages property as a lead capture mechanism. But I also want to talk to you guys about follow-up in the back end of lead capture. So once leads are captured, where do you go from there? So we'll be talking about some automation and some things on the back end. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, please go ahead and start popping them in now because we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, that everybody's caught up, that nobody's getting left behind. All right? Okay, good deal. So give me just one more second here. Just going to make one more tweak, and then I'm ready to go. We can get Facebook open in a separate tab here so that we can just head straight on over to your ads manager. Okay. There we are. Yeah, sometimes Facebook likes to play games sometimes. Okay. Okay, got it. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we're ready to go. There we go. So it should be popping up. So the first thing that I want to show you here today, guys, is I'm going into an account here, and I'm going to do a engagement style ad. Okay. So an engagement style ad is pretty much the same thing that we demonstrated last week, but this time we're going to use it for a different purpose. So let's go ahead and do a real estate, oops. And I typically go for post engagements. I'm not going for page likes. I'm not going for event responses. I'm just going for a page or a post engagement here. All right. So again, remember, whenever we set up our ads, we always want to put a note up here, and your ad set name makes it easier for you. And we don't really need to do anything along here that's different. So I'm not going to go through all that again just because we've done that many, many different times. We want to go to the parts that are different from what we've covered so far. So let's go to the actual ad itself. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is there's a couple different things that I can do. Let's go ahead and just move these to, let's just find one here where we got a property. So I'm connected to a lot of different accounts here. So I can even do do my page there. Okay, so I don't know that this one is connected to an account where I have a property ad, so that's not a big deal in that I can change that here. So what I would do, so I'm just going to open up a fresh tab. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go straight to a page. So in this case, you would go to your page if you don't already have a post set up. Hold on one second here, guys. Facebook's giving me some hassles here because I just downloaded the Facebook app here, the Windows app, so therefore keeps trying to get me to open in the app as opposed to in my browser, which is obnoxious. Okay, so let's just pretend this is your page here. Let's talk about what we would do in this instance. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to make a fresh post. There we go, right here. Okay, so the best thing that we could do here is this is for those of you that really would like to leverage your and capture leads that are going to be relevant to local realtors, high performance realtors, as well as yourself. So the best thing that you could do, folks, is approach an agent that you'd like to do business with and just let them know that you're engaging in some training and some coaching where you're learning new ways to generate leads utilizing Facebook and that you'd like their permission to leverage one of the properties, right? So what we like to do with the property ad is just keep it nice and simple. So I'm going to grab some images and I'm going to upload. So I just click here to upload a photo. I'm going to grab some pictures of a property. So let's just pretend that these few pictures here are the ones that I want to use. So let's go ahead and add that. So while that's uploading, okay, and I might upload 2 or 3 different images. Okay, so basically what you want to do is just put a couple teaser lines in there and then comes your call to action. Usually I will upload about 3 images of the property, maybe 3 or 4, just enough to whet their appetite, but I don't overdo it. So that's why I just do 3 or 4. I don't show every room and I don't show every detail that I put here in the text. But next, what I want to do is I want to put my call to action. And the call to action can be a couple different things. And this is going to be entirely up to you as far as what you want to put next, folks. And that is, you can either link to a landing page. So if you're, for example, doing single property sites, so a lot of you are familiar with that lead generation method. That's pretty popular and has been popular for several years. Or you can just, if you don't want to have to create a single property site for every property that you push out there, you can indeed ask the individual to basically request more information right here at your page. So, hey, if you want to see more details or have questions about the property, post below. Now, the advantage of going that route is because what happens is when people ask questions, Now what you do is you click to reply to them and send them a direct message right here on Facebook. So in other words, you get a two-way dialogue going immediately. When somebody asks a question, they basically give you the right to message them personally here on Facebook and say, hey, this is Chad. I see you'd asked a couple questions about the home for sale in St. Charles. Here's the answers to your question. And oh, by the way, what else can I help you with? Or what else do you want to know? Are you wanting to see the home, or do you know somebody that's looking, or are you in the market currently? And I ask a couple of questions, but basically you have a two-way dialogue going immediately, and you didn't even have to create a landing page for it. So this strategy is similar to what we discussed last week about posting in Facebook groups, except this time we're actually posting ads. And then we're going to go in and we're going to boost those ads within Facebook. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just creating a regular post about it on my page. But then I come into my Facebook ads, right? And I would just simply look for that post, my most recent post right here on Facebook. And then I place order and publish it just like it's a regular ad. Basically what I'm doing is I'm boosting my post, right? So pretty straightforward, guys, and it works very, very well in that if you limit yourself to only posting homes that you know are going to be popular, so gorgeous homes, just beautiful, exceptional homes in markets, in neighborhoods that you know are really hot, it's hard to go wrong with this ad. Even if all you get is 5 or 6 people commenting and asking questions about it, the fact that you have a two-way dialogue going with these individuals, and that now that you've earned that right to send them a direct message right here on Facebook, so you don't have to email and hope they get it, because we already know that 99% of the messages that get sent on Facebook get read, right? Versus only 30-something% in email. So you should get triple or more the response rate. How cool is that? So I like to work in maybe a quick question too and say, oh, by the way, now that I've answered your questions about the home, did you want me to tell you about some of the latest, home loan products out there that you can get into a home similar to this one for, in some cases, no money down, or even as little as 2%, 2.5%, or, whatever loan program you guys have out there that's really, really hot right now as far as low down payment. It gets people's attention, even if they have money, because they're thinking about it from the aspect of I have to furnish a whole new house worth of furniture. I got to do this, spend money on landscaping, remodeling this, remodeling that. Those things add up. So this is a very attractive approach. Okay. But now let's look at it from a different standpoint. Let's show you a different ad. And in this case, if I do this type of an ad, I might boost it, or I might just do a traffic style ad if I do the second method. So let's show you the second method here. In order to do that, I first need to step back one. And let's give Facebook a moment to open that up. Let me tell Facebook to do a traffic style. And I see some questions coming over. I'll get to that in just a moment. Let me just get to where I want to be real quick. And here we go. Here's the page I want to be on. Okay, and I see the question. Chad, do you utilize a bot on the boosted page or just a landing page? Most of the time I do neither. I just ask them to ask their questions below, or I'll give them a number they can text, or even my phone number, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them to interact with me. Because if I give them a landing page, they're not going to interact with me. They're just going to click on the link and go to the landing page, right? So what I recommend that you do is you run one house with a link to a landing page, and then run another house with no link to a landing page, asking them to interact. and see what works better in your market, because both of them work. And guys, if you need motivation as to seeing how well this really works and why we should take this route, let me clue you guys into something real quick. And I think I mentioned this a couple weeks back. When you run Google in keyword tools that tell us how many people are searching for certain topics and certain keywords on Google, if you ask Google how many people nationwide, or not nationwide, but citywide in the area that you're targeting are looking for specific keywords, let's say in this case mortgage keywords, I can use St. Louis as an example, and I know that on an average month in St. Louis, now St. Louis is just over a million, I believe it's 1,000,004, like 1.4 million to 1.5 million people if you're going by the entire metropolitan area. So that's St. Louis City plus county. Comes out to about 8,000 searches a month for keywords such as mortgage loan, home loan, best mortgage loan, mortgage rates, things that people would look for if they're looking for to get a mortgage. But if I look in that exact same area for people Googling homes for sale, I get over 31,000. 31,000 people. That's almost 4 times the volume of people looking for homes versus specifically looking for home loans. Why is that? Why does that happen, guys? I'm sure you know the answer. Why am I getting almost quadruple the number of people going to Google and searching for real estate versus mortgage terms? Why is that? What are we witnessing here? I want to see your answer. Why am I experiencing this phenomenon? And remember that this carries over to, if that's happening on Google, then you know that happens on Facebook as well. But why are we seeing such a huge difference in the volume of searches for mortgage versus real estate? I know somebody here's got to have the answer. No one? No one's got the answer? No guesses? All right, I have to give you guys the answer. The difference is people shop backwards. They find their homes first, and then they search for loans. Now, I know you guys knew this, or are you just being quiet today? You already know people shop backwards, right? They ready, fire, aim. They go out, they find the house, then they freak out when they're asked for a mortgage statement, so a letter from a lender. Oh, crap, I forgot about that. That's what they do. Occasionally you get somebody that shops properly and talks to you first, but how many times have you heard from either a realtor or they've come directly to you saying, hey, I need a letter yesterday saying I'm qualified because I really want to make an offer on this home and there's a lot of interest in it, blah, blah, blah. Hurry, 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 rush, rush, rush. Is it obnoxious? Yes, but it's the way people shop. And that's why you need to utilize a property style ad if you really, really want to take advantage of the market and capture a lot of leads, because you will get a lot of people. Now, not as many of them are going to convert. Whenever you deal with a volume of leads, if your volume shoots up quadruple, you're going to have to kiss more frogs to get to the good leads. But I don't care about that when I'm putting them into my database and I know that as I play follow-up over time, it's like a bag of popcorn. All the kernels don't pop at the same time, but eventually the bulk of them will. So that's what you'll find is that the people who don't convert now might convert 3 months from now. Because it's not uncommon for people to start dipping their toe in the water sometimes 3, 4, 5 months before they're ready to move. Because it's kind of scary. So they start thinking about it and looking around and kind of getting curious early, well in advance, sometimes half a year in advance. But the question is, are you going to need leads in half a year? Yeah, you're going to need leads 6 months from now, just like you need them today, right? So we're not too worried about that because you're filling up your database, and soon you can get your database into 1,000 plus people. And let me tell you, when you have 1,000 or more people in your database, you won't even have to run ads unless you want to, because they will convert. Every month, it's like that bag of popcorn again. Every month, you're going to see some coming over. And that's really hard to beat. Really hard to beat. So let me show you a different approach, a different way to do this. Now this one would involve a landing page. So if you guys need a landing page for this one, let me know. But check out this ad. I love, 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 love this ad. This ad is killer, and you don't even need a property to run it. But you're still going to work hand in hand with realtors on it. Come on. All right, so what I do is I take a number where I kind of see a cutoff for where the bulk of people aren't going to spend. So in St. Charles area, not most people aren't going to, be able to afford over 500,000. But St. Charles also does have plenty of homes that are in that 7, 8, 900,000 and then million plus areas. So it has some really nice luxury homes. So the fact that somebody could get into that luxury area for under $500,000 is really going to get a lot of people's attention. Really, I can move in there for less than 500,000. So I run an ad that they can get a list of those homes, right? So then just put my regular text. And just replace St. Charles, obviously, with whatever all right, boom. Leave it on Learn More. And that's my ad. And I'm going to put pictures of some nice looking homes up here, right? Just like we usually do. But that's the ad copy, guys. And you can tweak it a little bit to appeal to your marketplace. What are the most common features that people are looking for? Around here they want size. They want something that's at least 3,000 square feet and over, especially if you're going to spend $500,000, because that's a lot for a house in the Midwest. Maybe in the coastal regions, you guys say, well, that'll barely get you a shack. But here in the Midwest, that's a lot for a house. We don't have the same property values that you do. But so you would obviously adjust that for your coastal region. But the concept is still the same no matter where you are. Find a price point that most people are going to be surprised and very pleased. Yeah, I'd love to be able to get into that hot area for less than this amount. And what I do is before I run the ad, I talk to the realtor and say, look, can I get a list of all the homes that meet these specific criteria? And I have them print out a list and give it to me. And then I can email that list, or I can even post it to a thank you page and send that link to that page over when individuals fill out my lead form. And when I send them to my landing page looks just like all the other landing pages that we've been creating, the dynamic style landing pages. But I ask them a couple questions about what they'd like to see on their list of homes. I ask them, about how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many this, how many that. And the reason I'm asking those questions is because I want to be able to supply a good lead to my realtor. So when I send these leads over to the realtors, I just say, hey, look, here's somebody that's looking for, 500K and under. They're looking for 3,000 plus square feet. They want 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a minimum of 2-car garage, blah, blah, blah. That's a good lead for a realtor. But I also want to be able to follow up with these leads and find out a little bit more about what they're looking for, learn their time frame, and then also ask them, do you know how much you qualify for? Have you had a credit analysis performed by a professional lender, or have you just done a free credit pull? And oh, by the way, did you know that over half of all credit reports in the U.S. have errors on them, and those errors can be dropping your credit score and impacting your ability to qualify for the best loans. And some of those errors can take 2 or 3 months to fix, so you really need to get this done now. Would you like me to pull that for you? Because when you pull your free credit report, what most people don't realize, what most consumers don't realize, is that those free credit pulls, they're not the same thing that we see, that our underwriters look at. We pull a full tri-merge. So we're letting them know these types of things that make them think, yeah, I really do need to talk to this lender. I really do need to get this done. But again, this has mass appeal. And you can modify this to anything. Your homes list, it doesn't just have to be a price point. So I could change, instead of focusing on price, I could do, if I'm going after the luxury market, let's say that you're saying, hey, you know what? The best way I can make more money as a loan officer is not necessarily to close more volume of loans, but to boost my average loan amount. What if your average closing was 100 to 200 grand more than it is now? What if it is 250, 300 grand more than it is now? Your average closing. How much more money would you make? That's obviously a lot more commission, right? So in that case, I would do free list of homes for sale in St. Charles over 3,500 square feet. So now I'm focusing on size. So I might even bump that to 4,000 or 5,000 if I'm wanting to appeal to individuals in the luxury market. Or free list of homes for sale in St. Charles. How about this? Waterfront homes. So all you really need to do to really get a good idea of how creative you could get with these types of ads, and these are such easy ads to run, guys, is just head on over to realtor.com. I mean, just head on over to realtor.com, do a search in a particular area. So I'm doing town and country. That's a nice luxury market here, right? Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I click on more filters and I take a look at what the amenities are. So golf course, there's one. Okay, free list of homes for sale, on the golf course, golf course front homes, homes with a view, detached garages. I just start looking at all the different amenities. Let's click on more. And I just go through here, corner lot homes, water view homes, golf course front. Let me click more on that. Ocean view, mountain view, lake view, city view, river view. So riverfront homes. We can start appealing to individuals in specific niche markets, right, based on the amenities. So price isn't the only thing that we're looking at here. Price is one of them, but we can also go by size. We could also go by waterfront, water view, mountain view. I mean, just whatever it is that's really hot in your marketplace, and offer a list of those homes. Just approach the realtor, ask them to shoot you over a list. Boom, you're ready to rock and roll. Now you have what you can use to deliver on that promise. All right? So any questions here, guys? Any questions on this process? Just going to give you guys a moment here in case there is. Do you see the value in capturing? Because a lot of you folks, when we first started talking, said, hey, you know what, I'd like to get the leads before the realtors do. Well, this is how you do it. This is definitely a great way to do it. So yeah, Pete, yeah, we can definitely send them to a landing page. You can do this as, now keep in mind, guys, you can do this as a lead ad. So for those of you that were introduced to the Facebook lead ads in last week's training, which is a killer way to capture leads because you don't even need a landing page at that point. But again, the best thing in the world that you could do if you're serious about this and you really want to get serious about your lead generation is never just assume. Assumptions suck. When it comes to marketing, assumptions suck because basically what you're doing is saying, hey, I know better than my market. Whereas you can test it and let the market tell you and give you the answer. So when in answer to that question, what I would do is I would run this for a couple of days as a Facebook lead ad with no landing page and see how much I'm paying cost per lead and the quality of the leads. And the advantage of a Facebook lead ad is you don't need any landing page, and the leads you get that are much more accurate because of the fact that Facebook auto fills that information of the email, name, and phone number. Facebook already knows their email, name, and phone number, so it auto populates that, and all the person has to do is click the button to send it over to you, right? However, I would also run a version with a landing page. And if you need a landing page, guys, let me know. You can either use a bot or you can use the Typeform style landing pages that I created for you in the beginning. I can set one up for you. Those are very simple landing pages, but they're dynamic and they convert. All right. So basically, when they click to see the homes, if you're going to send them to a landing page, you say, okay, we're going to create that list for you, but first we need to know what you're looking for so we can customize that list for you. And that's what it asks for at the landing page. So again, if you need a landing page, let me know. I'll kick one out to you. All right. So I'll get you a landing page for running one of these. Just send me the request on Glip. So yeah, basically what we ask for on those landing pages is it's really simple. It's just basically, hey, we see that you're looking for a list of homes for sale in the St. Charles area for $500,000 or less. Please answer a couple quick questions so we can see, so we can customize that list to show you only the homes that you really want to see. Boom, that's it. So now they tell you and they answer some questions about what they're looking for, as well as one of the questions is always the time frame. I want to know, how soon are you looking to buy a home? Because now that allows me to cherry pick my leads, right? Now when I follow up, I know who to focus on. So, but yeah, you'll get a crap ton of leads this way, guys. It works extremely well. All right, so I hope you guys run one of these because this is what's working right now. Right now, the record is 80 plus leads in 1 week from a member. That's the record I've seen, the most leads I've seen captured in 1 week. And that was just targeting one city, over 80 leads in 1 week. The guy was killing it, and his realtors were loving him. It doesn't mean everybody's going to get that. Some of you guys only get 10, 15, 20 leads a week. But again, you're building your database very quickly, and that database is going to be like pure gold to you as you go along. All right. Okay. So let me get another tab open here for you guys. Give me just a moment. So I'm looking for that tab. Okay, so now what I want to talk to you guys about is, let's shift gears a little bit, is I want to talk to you a little bit about follow-up. Okay, now when we're talking about follow-up, guys, let me get a document open here as well. Typically, in the world of follow-up, there's a couple of things that I want to have happen. This is how I like to follow up. All right, so this is what my follow-up typically looks like in most scenarios, is you need an email autoresponder or your CRM needs to have, an email trigger so that you can automate that follow-up. Because if you're having to do all of these manually, then you're going to be way too busy and it's not going to be consistent enough for you to get a good response rate. 9 times out of 10, when loan officers come to me and say, oh, none of these leads just suck, because none of them respond, blah, blah, blah. And then when I check with them and see, well, okay, what's your system look like? Well, there usually is no system. It's like, oh, well, I just email them manually. And 99% of the time when loan officers are emailing manually to these folks, it's not consistent. I mean, they might get one or two emails at most, and then they give up because they're busy doing a million other things. If you captured 25 leads this week, are you going to manually go through and email 25 people like clockwork every single time so that they all have a similar follow-up experience? No, it's just not possible. And due to that not being possible, it means that you have no basis for making any decision whatsoever as to how well this worked or not, because it's inconsistent. Inconsistency equals failure in the world of marketing, always. 100% of the time, it equals failure, because you cannot draw conclusions through inconsistency, right? So the best thing that we can do to get great results from the leads that we're capturing is to be consistent in the follow-up, and that means that we have to have a plan. So my plan is, as soon as a lead is captured, an instant email is triggered and sent off to them. That's an email that thanks them, confirms their request, and lets them know what to expect, and oh, by the way, introduces them to me. So that's, hey, thank you so much. This is Chad Weber from such and such mortgage. I just wanted you to know that I got your request for this list of homes for sale in the St. Charles area, and wanted to also let you know what to expect. So here's what happens next. Bullet point number 1, boom. My army of trained monkeys are going to put together this list. I might make a little joke about it or something. Number 2, that list is going to be emailed out to you within X amount of time. Bullet point number 3, just to make sure you get it, because I know how unreliable email can be, especially if you're getting a bunch of spam. I'm also going to have a text message to this number here that you gave me. And oh, by the way, if I have any questions, about customizing your list, I might, keep an eye on your text, because I might text you a question if I just need a clarification, while creating this customized list for you. Here's my name, here's my email, here's my phone number. If you have any pressing questions or wanted to add to your request, here's how you get a hold of me. And here's a link to my website. So boom, the second thing that happens is a text message is triggered automatically. Most CRMs and email autoresponders these days have the capability to send out a text message on an autoresponder. So that means the system's going to send out a text thank you that basically says something similar to my email as well, because I want to make sure that they're getting comfortable with hearing from me, right? And I want to make sure that they actually got my message. Now, voice drop, is there anybody on today's call that's unfamiliar with the terminology of voice drop? Can you guys let me know? Is anybody here unfamiliar with that term? Or does everybody know what a voice drop is? Let me know in the chat box. If anybody's never heard that term or not completely certain what a voice drop is, please let me know. I want to know if that's something that I need to cover, or if you guys already know what a voice drop is. Okay, so John's familiar with it. Okay, good. Is anybody unfamiliar? Okay, so not certain. All right. Okay, so we got one. So a voice drop, guys, is some of you guys may have heard of. There's actually a company out there called SlideDial. It's pretty much the same thing as SlideDial. So it's basically where I can make a recording of my voice, and the system will trigger and send my voice over directly to their voicemail. So you don't have to worry about telemarketing laws, because it never rings their phone. Instead, it just bypasses the ringing and drops that voice message off, that recording, directly into their voicemail, which is pretty darn cool. Because now to them, when they're checking their voicemail messages, to them it sounds like they just missed a call from you, when in reality, the message was sent just right there. But I like that because the rapport that's built when they hear your voice, and you actually do get a decent number of people calling you back. In most markets, this is the one tool that people tell me when they utilize my follow-up process of using the voice drop, they tell me, man, that completely changed my results with my leads. That's the one thing that gets the most compliments is, man, these voice drops are just killing it. Because we also use them to reach out to FSBOs. We use them to reach out to realtors. I mean, it freaking works. So instead of just having one follow-up, I have 3 here. I have email, I have a text message, and a voice. How cool is that? So that's a 3-pronged approach. And with my emails, most people don't realize that it's the consistency of the email follow-up. Most loan officers will send 1 email or maybe 2, where they might send out a second one about 48 to 72 hours if they don't respond to that first one. For me, you get my instant email. Day number 2, you get an email. Day number 4, you get an email. And day number 7, you get an email. So that's 4 emails within that first week. And a lot of people say, man, that's just too much, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. It really, really isn't. And let me explain why. It may seem that way, but that's, unless you tried it, how can you really say? Because every time I boost the number of responses, the number of times I send emails, I always get a superior response. And here's why. Because a good portion of your emails are never even seen anyway. Remember, only about 1/3 of the emails that you send are actually going to be seen. So knowing that, if all I send is 1 or 2 emails, the chances are still slightly against me that they'll even see those, statistically speaking. So by sending 4 messages within that very first week, I'm tipping the odds in my favor that they'll at least see 1 of them. And that's why I do it. And let's say they do see all 4. Who cares? If I'm putting good, not non-pushy information that they like, it's not a bad thing, right? Now, if I'm sending them a bunch of sales messages and being obnoxious, oh yeah, you need to call me, blah, blah. All right, well, in that case, yeah, I'm probably going to piss them off. But if I'm sending good, usable information, folks, this is going to be welcome. All right, I'm trying to train them and get them used to seeing my messages, associating me with good information. Yeah, David, that is correct. And the voice drop can be sent, if you like, depending on your market, because I tweak it based on my marketplace. I don't always send the voice drops right away. Sometimes I might even send this on day 2 as well. So, but I like to test it in different markets, because some markets respond better if I send that on the first day. Some markets respond better if I send it on day number 2. But either way, basically my voice message is still going to be the same. It's still going to be, hey, this is Chad Weber. I'm the guy that runs the free homes list that you requested in St. Charles. And I just had a couple of really, really quick questions for you. I got my guys working on your custom homes list for all the homes under 500,000 for sale in St. Charles. But before I sent it over, I just wanted to clarify a couple of things to make sure that I'm sending you the right list and the homes that you really, really want to see. Okay? So if you could please just give me a jingle back, or if you prefer to talk to me via text, here's my cell phone number. You can just send me a text reply as well. Either one works. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Boom. Very, very simple. Okay? So oftentimes we overcomplicate the process. Jolene, the system here. Let me go ahead and just show you guys what I was showing earlier. I do recommend Active Campaign. Active Campaign can send text messages as well as emails. But let me show you how this system works, because I really, really love using this system, and it'll automate everything for you, and it's super, super cheap. So, but let me show you how the process would work. If you have an Active Campaign account or you set one up, you can get their cheapest account's only $9, okay? But it's going to be missing some of the cooler features. So the upgraded version is $17, I believe. But still, it does 90 to 95% of what a CRM does, but it's just way easier to use. So the way that I set this up when I'm just getting started is I come in and I say, okay, I'm going to add a new list. All right, so my new list is, let's call it, come on now. St. Charles Homes list. Now, when you're setting this up, you have to answer all of these to be in compliance with the CAN spam laws in the U.S. So basically, this right here is going to show up in the footer in case this is what stops people from hitting the spam button and reporting you as spam when they get your emails, is it reminds them. It actually shows them a reminder of, hey, this isn't spam. You're getting this email because you actually requested a list of homes for sale in St. Charles. So you remind them, and that shows up in the footer as a reminder right next to the report as spam button. So that way it minimizes you getting reported so that you don't get blacklisted, because trust me, you don't want to get blacklisted. So that's how I create a list. Once I create a list, now I can either create a campaign or an automation. Now if I click here to create an automation, I'm going to click there, I'm going to do new automation. Now watch this, look at what it does, is it says, okay, what would you like to create? Okay, so let's take a look. Engaging, dun, 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 dun. Now these are all pre-built. Okay, so I'm just going to start from scratch. So I click there, click create. Now I'm going to start my own automation. So now it says, okay, great. How will a contact enter your automation? So in other words, where are these guys going to come from? All right, so somebody's going to submit a form. They're going to subscribe to my list. So remember, the first thing I did was I created a list, right? So I would just look for that in my drop-down. Now I have a ton of them in here. Runs one time, add to my start. Boom. Now I get a visual representation. Now I can actually create a funnel. Really, really cool here. So to create my funnel, I can actually see it visually, which is going to help you understand exactly what happens. I click the plus button and it says, okay, when you capture a new lead, what's the first thing you want to have happen? So look here, look at one of my options. Send an SMS, or in other words, send a text message. Or do I want to send an email? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email. It says, okay, you don't have any emails to send. Would you like to create one? Yes, I would. Create an email. So give your email a name. I'm just naming it email number 1 so that when I look at it, I know this is email number 1. Okay, perfect. Now I can build my email. I'm going to build it through custom HTML. I'm not going to use any of the templates here. I'm just going to go straight to custom HTML. What do you want your subject line to be? So this is what the client's going to see. So I'm putting something in here that they're going to recognize. Don't try any of those fancy, really smooth subject lines that are trying to be clever. No, what I found is just tell them what it's actually about, and you'll get more people opening it, and you'll build trust with them. So no, nothing fancy here, just your request for a St. Charles Homes list. So they look, oh yeah, I did request that, didn't I? Okay, so I can build my email here. I don't like this. I click the visual editor up here, which looks like a little computer monitor. So I click to go to my visual editor, and I find that much, much better to use. Okay, so here's your visual editor. So this is, I like this much better. So one other thing that I found is size 14 font, and an Arial font reads best in all emails. Okay, I get much better response rates when I use Arial size 14 font. And I think it's just because the letters are larger, lots of people are reading on cell phones and things along those lines, and just Arial font has a much better readability than the fancy fonts that can actually look, be hard on the eyes, so to speak. So I find this works best in emails. So right, so I might need to bump this back up because, yeah, it looks like I only put it on the one line, or I can wait till I'm done and do it, but either way. So now I just put my bullet points, letting them know what to happen, what's going to happen next, and then I thank them and give them my contact information with my call to action. So it's just a really simple email, right? So you guys can customize this however you like, but this just kind of gives you a brief insight into how simple the email can be. And when I'm done with it, all I do is click my next button. I can test it right here, or I can just click to finish it. Now when I finish it, I'm going to see my funnel. My visual funnel shows, okay, here's where everything starts. The first thing that's going to happen once somebody enters your funnel is, boom, they're going to come down here and they're going to get email number 1. Now I want to program to send my text message. So I click here to send SMS. All right. So you get, by default, you can send 25 text messages for the month for free, or I can purchase credits. It's really, really cheap. I think it's been a long time since I bought credits, just because I use a dedicated texting platform as well through CallFire, but that's because I do huge, huge, huge volumes. You guys don't need to do that. But you know, I have some of my email lists are in excess of 25,000 people, so that's why I use that. If you're sending anything less than 500 or 600 a month, then you can just purchase your credits here and use these. All right, you don't need a dedicated texting platform. So, but here, I could just type out whatever I wanted to say, tell it what days are okay to send. Do I want to personalize it and use their name? I can fit up to 160 characters in here, as it says down here. And what times do I want to send it? Because how weird would it be to have a text going out at midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. That's not a good look. So that's what's cool about this is I can go in and put what are appropriate times throughout the day for it to send that text. Click save. Boom. Now I got both my email and my text message programmed. How cool is that? So problem solved. Now I don't have to screw around and sit back and wait for these things to happen or hope that they're at some point going to happen, or just say, hey, I don't know how to set this up. It's actually really, really simple. If you need me to take a look at your admin panel, even if you're using something other than ActiveCampaign, I don't care what you use, guys. I just want you to use something, because automation is going to make you more money. I guarantee you 1,000%. Automation will make you more money. If you're concerned, hey, I'm not very technically inclined, maybe I didn't do something right, okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having that concern. Glip me. I will log in and look at it for you and let you know if there's anything wrong. Okay, but I just want you guys to get to this level where you can have things automated. I can build out an entire funnel and follow-up funnel right here just by never leaving this page, just always using the plus sign, telling the system what I want to do, setting it up, click save, boom. Always make sure too that you're in active state, not because by default it's going to show as inactive, which means you can set everything up and you think you're done and you start sending over leads thinking that they're getting followed up with, wondering why you're not capturing anything. Well, it's because you didn't click active. You got to click active to turn it on. Otherwise, it's going to sit here in inactive mode. And the reason ActiveCampaign does that is because there were a lot of people that when they were building these things out were accidentally triggering, and when they weren't even finished, people were getting dumped into the funnel and getting these incomplete, not fully typed out emails and whatnot. So by default, it stays in inactive until you click that active button. All right? So does that make sense? Do you guys see the value of what I just showed you here? And I'll tell you right now, once you get even just a bare minimum of automation set up, your success rate in converting these leads who otherwise you might think, well, these guys just aren't really, responding well. Well, once you get even just a week to a week and a half of email responses put in here and on automation, you're going to see that go through the roof because nothing beats consistency, and you can't beat automated for consistency because it's going to do it no matter how busy you are. And that combination of texting, email, and then voice drops, you got Slide Out, and there's tons of voice drop companies out there, guys. You can use whichever one you want. It's really going to do some wonderful things for you. All right, so any questions, guys? Any questions at all? Now's the time to let me know. What do you guys think? Any thoughts, comments, questions? It's all good. You see the value in what we're discussing here in this automation and putting these things on autopilot. Now, just so you know, this thing does so much more. Let me give you just a clue as to some of the really, really cool things that you can do here. First of all, when you click on reports, anytime you send out an email, it's going to track what percentage of people opened versus what percentage of people clicked on the links that you inserted. And it's even going to show you the pictures and even the social profile of each person that opened up your emails. So I can see who all my best prospects are in here. So check it out. Let me go down to my contacts. So I'm going to click on Contact Trends and click on my top contacts and watch this. This is what's really cool. It actually gives me the pictures. If I click on any of these, I'll be brought straight over to these individuals' Facebook profiles, LinkedIn profiles, or Twitter profiles. So I can see all the people who have opened and read the most of my messages. So how cool is that? When you, after a couple of weeks of running your ads and sending out emails, you can come in and find out, hey, who are the guys that are really, really hanging on to every word I have to say? Well, you can connect with them on Facebook, or you can just know who they are and maybe give them a little bit more attention. Maybe you can pick up the phone and call them, because if I look at this and say, wow, this guy's opened my last 7 messages and has read every single one of them, well, I might want to get on the phone with them. So it's going to show you your top 50 contacts out of your entire database. Your open and read trends. So your read trends are basically showing you what days of the week you're getting the best results. So right here, I can see that Tuesdays and Thursdays outperform every other day of the week, especially Saturdays and Sundays. And which is funny because there's a lot of gurus that tell you, oh, you got a message on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, bull crap. I mean, I can see right here that at least for my niche, that is not the case. Never just take somebody's word for it. Always double check. So I know that I should focus on emailing on Tuesdays and Thursdays if I want the best results. And the same thing for hours of the day. So this is showing me the percentage of my emails that were opened, what times a day are best. So I can see here that 10 a.m. by far kicks the butt of every other hour of the day that I need to be sending out my messages probably just before 10 o'clock, so maybe around 9:30. So then I got my secondary right here, 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock are still pretty good as well. So I'm going to stop emailing different times of the day and focus on sending during the time period where I get the most opens. So I can see who's closest to me. It'll actually pull up on a map and show who's closest to me. I got my email client trends, which is showing me where they're opening and reading my emails. I mean, guys, you've got so many different reports here that I can run that remove the guesswork out of my marketing to make sure I get the best results with what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, Pete, this is Active Campaign is what I'm demonstrating here today. But again, you can use whatever program you want. I'm just showing this to you because I like it. And I know that it kicks butt and it's easy to teach compared to a lot of the systems out there. It does a whole lot more. I've barely shown you the tip of the iceberg. We got tons of different automations. We got mini CRM within deals. We got campaign setup. I mean, just all sorts of cool things. But right now, I just wanted to show you the basics. If you guys want to see a full-blown class on just Active Campaign, I'll set up a special secondary class. Just send me a GLIP message if that's what you're interested in, and I'll do a class on just this. So so we can work together and get it set up with you side by side during that class because it's that important. This will double, triple, quadruple your results, guys, once you get that automation, those automations going. All right? Awesome, guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up here today. So any messages, let me know. I will get the replay converted and sent to you tonight in GLIP or no later at the absolute latest, first thing early in the morning. But either way, I'll get that replay to you in well less than 24 hours. And I hope you found today beneficial. Make sure you run the ads we talked about. And if you don't have something for automation, go grab Active Campaign. If you don't like Active Campaign, there's other good systems out there like getresponse.com. If you want more recommendations, just message me on GLIP. I'll be happy to share them with you. And I'll see you guys next time. All right? Make it a great rest of your day, folks.